Module 2, Epistemology, Rationalism and Empiricism. Lecture 2A, What is Knowledge? Epistemology, the study of knowledge. What is knowledge? Plato, in his dialogue Theaetetus, after much debate, defines knowledge as justified true belief. Let us unpack that phrase. The belief part is clear. We cannot have knowledge of something if we do not believe it. There's the old joke of the child who defines religion as believing in something you know is not true. The true part is a bit more difficult. Philosophers have three theories of truth. The correspondence theory of truth. Truth reflects something in reality. The trouble is that often we cannot know reality. Kant, as we will see later on, teaches that we have no knowledge of the real world, the noumenal world, only the phenomenal world, what is in our mind. Coherent theory of truth. Truth is part of a web of ideas that hold together, do not contradict one another. We all have webs of belief. Pragmatic theory of truth. Truth is something that works. William James, who we'll study when we talk about religion, says that God exists because belief in God makes a successful life. So if we say that knowledge is justified true belief, which definition of true are we using? The hard word is justified. How do we justify knowledge? Skepticism says we cannot justify anything. We need to doubt everything. Foundationalism says we can find some foundation on which to rest all of knowledge. This was Descartes' approach. We will look at him momentarily. Knowledge is justified true belief. It does raise questions. Edmund Gettier, an American philosopher, raised a major issue. Gettier problems. Edmund Gettier wrote a famous essay called Is Justified True Belief Knowledge? It's 1963. What if we see a clock that says 6:25? It really is 6:25, so the time is true, but the clock is broken, and it is a coincidence that it gives the correct time. We have a true belief that the class starts in 5 minutes. We justified it by looking at the clock, but the justification does not really work because the clock is broken. How do we justify such a belief? How do we justify something when the justification is based on something broken, something false? That's a Gettier problem. Justification is a major issue for epistemology. Some philosophers teach that justification is internal, coming from our minds. Some philosophers teach that justification is external, coming from the outside world. This is the basis of the debate between rationalists and empiricists. In the beginning of the modern era of philosophy, much classical knowledge was being questioned. Classical knowledge, whether from the Bible or Aristotle, was under challenge. The beginning of the modern era of philosophy. The outlook of medieval philosophy was a combination of Aristotle and Christianity. Thomas Aquinas was the most important medieval thinker who put together this classical philosophical system. Among the Jews, it was Maimonides. Among Muslims, it was Avicenna and others. Philosophy was based on the notion of substance, often called substance ontology. According to Aristotle, as we've already learned, each substance has 4 causes: material, formal, efficient, and final cause. It was a world where everything moved according to its final cause, teleology or purpose. Theology means purpose. This fit beautifully with Christianity as well as Islam and Judaism, which taught that God makes everything for a purpose. The earth was at the center of the universe, surrounded by a number of perfect spheres containing the sun, moon, and 5 planets, then the stars. Already this view was being challenged by new scientific ideas founded by such thinkers as Copernicus, pictured above, Galileo, and Isaac Newton. If movement was caused by gravity rather than by final causation, the entire philosophical system needs rethinking. At the same time that the ideas of Aristotle were being challenged by the birth of modern science, the Catholic Church was also facing challenges. Martin Luther, 1483 to 1546, photo on right, nailed his 95 Theses on the door of All Saints Church in Wittenberg in 1517, challenging some of the fundamental practices of the Church. This was the beginning of the Reformation and the founding of Protestantism. This religious divide and other issues led to the 30-Year War beginning in 1618. The medieval understanding of both science and religion was under challenge during the 16th century. If knowledge is justified true belief, new justifications were necessary. The modern era of philosophy began with the search for a new foundation of all knowledge. There were two possible approaches: rationalism and empiricism. The man considered the father of modern philosophy was the first great rationalist, René Descartes.